everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, thanks for dropping in. If you guys follow the channel, you know I recently purchased this Honda Civic Type R. Now before I bought the Type R, I was considering a couple of different cars, one of which was waiting for the new 11th generation Honda Civic Si, because I was coming from a 9th generation Si. So I'm thinking it'd be cool to upgrade slightly. Hopefully I spend less than $30,000 and get improved interior, better sound system, and of course the updated looks. Yeah, I do like the way the new Civic looks. I think it looks a little more toned down, but in a good way. I think it has that sporty look to it, maybe because it reminds me a little bit more like a BMW in a sense, in some of the European styling. But overall, I think it's a good package. The main thing I wanted, that was hoping that would happen with the new Honda Civic Si, was more power. Okay, I came from a 9th generation. So you gotta think I had 204 horsepower from a naturally aspirated 2.4 liter engine with VTEC. Now I know that the 10th generation Civic Si, I think it was a 1.5 turbo. It had a little more torque, but the horsepower stayed up to the same. But like I said, this dates all the way back, and to say that 2014 was that year of 9th gen, 2013 or 2012, depending on the years. Here we are, might as well 10 years later, in 2022. So a decade later. Come on, Honda, like, what are you doing? I found out that they're offering 200 horsepower, again on the turbocharged engine. Like, so what? It has more torque. I don't care about the torque. Where is the high horsepower, where is the high revving engines from the Si? Those were the fun of the car, was being able to rev it out to 8,000 RPM and just hearing that VTEC crossover, just hearing that power and just enjoying it. It wasn't that fast, but just being able to enjoy the power. But it seems like all they're doing is just lowering the red line each generation. Like I remember the 8th gen Si was like 190 something horsepower. And those cars are probably one of the most fun ones I've driven. That one, of course, the EM1s are always there too. But those 8,000 RPM red lines were just fun to hit. Each generation, it seems like the red line just gets lower and lower and lower. Yeah, you can have more mid-range and power, but who wants to drive these cars mid-range? And Honda, who are you marketing these cars for? All right, the enthusiasts are the ones who buy the SIs, okay? Everyone else can buy the sports. They can buy the Tourings and get the automatics if they don't want that. If they want to drive manual, I think part of driving manual is being a high revving. Now, I appreciate what they've done. I know that there's been improvements, so they made it a little bit more, so there's more power at redline than the previous 10th generation. But 200 horsepower these days is just not enough anymore to stay competitive. You got to do more. I was hoping for 220, 230 horsepower. If they did that, I would have been like, I've been questioning my decision for, stay with this generation, getting into this generation Type R. I don't know. I just think that, it's just my opinion. I think that they messed up. The car looks good, but just not enough power. So that just, to me, solidifies my decision to go for the Type R. Yes, 300 horsepower isn't a lot, but it's enough for this car to be fun. And like I said, the times right now, cars are just getting a little bit quicker. And then as you evolve, I think this is still enjoyable, it has appropriate power, it doesn't feel too over the top. So that's it. wise, yeah, I like the looks. It looks very similar to the Sport, but it's not a bad thing. I was hoping a little bit more to set it off from the outside, but I think that's always been SI's thing. They've always looked very similar to the Sports, but just by offering exclusively a manual. And like I said, they usually offer just a little bit more power to bring you over to the SI. And maybe what they're trying to do is stop people from or encroaching on that Type R territory. So to me, it sounds like the Type R next generation is probably going to be still around the 300 horsepower range, which is, again, for this car isn't a bad point because it's just enough. I think adding more power right now, they think this car, it will struggle with traction, and then you're just going to make it worse. It's fine right now. Leave it alone. Don't be trying to do some DCT transmission or all-wheel drive, add weight, things like that. The car is a perfect the way it is. So I've been doing some, I guess not some research, but I've been watching this SI as it sort of progressed and people started to get them. I think one of the first YouTubers to get one was Oh So Sick. And I watched his first 0 to 60 and I think it was disappointing. I think it was pretty in the high sevens, if not 8 seconds. I believe it was pretty low or slower than I expected. So I know that they tuned the engine obviously to spread the power band out so it's not quite as, you know, as you rev it out, there is something to rev out to, but it's still not there. 200 horsepower, I still stand by what I said, it's just not enough for today's competition. It is sort of hitting that more of a base model type power level. You know, if you think about it, like I said, the HN 0 to 60 was 6.5, mid 6.7, and each generation they keep taking away that high revving. You're lowering the red line. It's not impressive, not impressive at all. And the same goes for the Integra. The Integra was also one of the cars that I strongly considered instead of the Type R. When I heard that they're releasing a new Integra, I was thinking, if it looks like the render, it's going to be a good car to get. I mean, let's be honest, that car the render was awesome. But Honda, again, didn't deliver. And they made it look like an ILX, just a rebadge for the Integra, new style ILX. But yeah, I wish they, like I said, my ideal power level would have been 230 horsepower. That would have given enough grunt, another umph to where it would have made it more competitive, made it more, you know, you still probably put yourself in probably that 6.1 range, but the car would have been fun. And if it wasn't that power level, I don't know, that would be a good, fun daily driver to have. I think someone else had one, Redline Reviews, tested the SI, and they struggled to get into the 7-second range. And I think one time they did finally hit the 6s, but I'll be honest with you, I think they're going downhill because it took them several tries and finally, they finally did it, and it looks like they'll downhill. So I don't believe that one bit. You know, what does every one of those think about the SI, the 11th gen? Do you feel that it needs more power? Do you think the power is adequate? I know it's lightweight, but do you feel that, were you hoping for more power like me? But yeah, the Bose audio is cool. Some of the little things that would have been nice to have, but I think the overall package would have been perfect with more power. Anyway, thanks for watching.